Marks, my childhood friend who was always as cold as ice, suddenly told me there was someone he wanted but couldn't have. I immediately hyped him up. Go for it. Get your hands on them first. Then play the victim and beg them to take responsibility. Marks looked at me, his gaze deepening. All right, I'll listen to you. Later, lying in bed with my whole body aching amidst a total mess, I backhanded him. You really are a bastard. Chapter 1. When I woke up at noon, I found Marks actually sitting in my living room. He seemed to be deep in thought. His usually perfectly groomed hair had a rebellious tuft sticking up. But it didn't look bad. With a face like that, he'd look good even if he shaved his head bald. I yawned and plopped down next to him. I leaned against him like I had no bones. One of my legs naturally draped over his thigh. Marks, what's up? Finally stopped locking yourself away. His gaze swept over my restless leg. But he didn't push it away. I wasn't locking myself away. Then what the hell have you been doing these past few days? You didn't show up for basketball, didn't come to the party, didn't reply when I asked you to game, and didn't open the door when I knocked. I stared at him. Don't tell me you were busy. I asked Uncle Anthony. He said you shut yourself in your room all day. Are you missing Auntie again? I said those last few words very softly. When we were kids, Marks wanted a snack. His mom went out to buy it. Unfortunately, there was a car accident and she never came back. Many people gossiped behind his back, saying Marks was the murderer of his own mother, that he was cursed and brought bad luck to those around him. Every word stabbed into his heart like a knife. From then on, the originally unruly and wild Marks became silent and reserved, his personality settling down a lot. All the way until now, at 20 years old. As his brother who grew up with him, I was worried he was trapped by the past, so I stayed by his side. When he missed his mom, I would accompany him all day, trying to make him happy. If anyone dared to gossip in front of him, I would go up and confront them immediately. My parents also supported me in doing this. Fortunately, Marks shook his head. No, it's about feelings. I breathed a sigh of relief. I quickly glanced at the door, then patted my chest and guaranteed, okay, feel free to talk. My parents aren't home. We've been brothers for so many years. I'll definitely keep this little secret for you. I didn't know which word displeased him. The corners of Mark's mouth turned down slightly. Carlos, something's wrong with me. What's wrong? He said. I think I've fallen for someone I shouldn't. I froze for a moment. Huh? What do you mean, shouldn't? Don't tell me you like that stray dog downstairs? Marks looked a bit helpless. Carlos, are you asking for a beating? I'm talking about a human. If it's a human, then go chase them. Be open and bold about it. He won't agree. Marks was still staring at me. There was a strangeness in his eyes I couldn't understand. Growing up, there were plenty of girls who actively pursued Marks, so I didn't believe it. How could they not agree? I'll give you an idea. Guaranteed to help you get your crush. Tell me. I deliberately wanted to tease him, so I gave him a terrible idea. If you're willing to risk it all, then take the initiative and attack. Kiss her, hug her. Do the whole set so fast she doesn't have time to react. Ideally, make her voluntarily come home with you. In short, get your hands on the person first, and in the end, play the victim and beg them to take responsibility. Of course, the premise is that the other party doesn't call the police afterward. If they really call the police, I'll come visit you in the detention center. Marks didn't get angry at my obviously unreliable advice. Instead, he asked me, Carlos, would you like to be pursued like that? Me? I thought subconsciously. If a beautiful girl took the initiative with me, I'd definitely be happy. But being stared at by Marks like this, I inexplicably felt a little flustered. I didn't know why. I didn't show it, continuing to joke. I wouldn't hate it. It might actually be quite exciting. Marks suddenly smiled. He gently patted the leg I had draped over his knee. Sensitively, I wanted to pull it back, but his hand slid down and gripped my calf. All right, then I'll listen to you. For the first time, I realized his hand was actually big enough to hold my entire calf. How did this guy get stronger again? I was joking. Don't actually go messing around with some girl. I know. You go wash up first. Alex invited us out for his birthday today. I thought you weren't going, so I turned it down for you. Since you're going, I'll definitely go too. Wait for me to take a shower, and we'll head out. Okay. The topic of his crush passed just like that. I didn't think much of it. I just felt that after chatting, Mark's mood was obviously much better. He returned to normal and I was happy too. Good brothers should influence each other like this. I pulled my leg back and happily went to take a shower. completely failing to notice the deepening gaze from Marks behind me. His eyes swept over my thin back, my waist, and further down. His gaze was frighteningly hot. Chapter 2. Quickly washing up, Marks and I headed out together. Today we were celebrating Alex's birthday with friends, so we definitely had to have a good time. We agreed to meet at the high school gate. Unfortunately, when Marks and I walked into the small alley next to the school, we ran headfirst into a group of guys who didn't look like good news. I was just pestering Marks to buy me an ice-cold Coke when I saw them and immediately pulled a long face. Damn it, just my luck. Back when we were young and ignorant, we used to get into fights in this alley over small things. Although in the end, Marks would always drag me home with a stern face to do homework, threatening to cut ties with me if I fought again. Anyway, I had a grudge against these punks. The leader, Redhead, was also quite surprised to see us. Yo, isn't this Carlos? I couldn't be bothered with him. I pulled Mark's arm, wanting to go around them, but that guy blocked us directly, staring at Marks with ill intentions. Yo, Marks is here too. Heard you guys got into a top university. Universities these days must be blind. Aren't they afraid of being cursed into bankruptcy? Ha 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 ha. Bang. A muffled sound. I smashed the Coke I just bought hard at Redhead's feet. The soda exploded, splashing everywhere. I stood in front of Marks, my expression foul and cold. Dare to spout another load of crap? Damn. Carlos, you looking for trouble? Redhead was startled by the sudden move and wanted to rush over angrily. But just as he took a step, Marks, who hadn't spoken, looked up and glanced at him coldly. Just that one look made Redhead shiver involuntarily. The boy next to him quickly pulled Redhead back and whispered persuasively. Boss? Forget it, Mark's father is now. At the mention of his father's status, Redhead's eyes immediately became sober. He smiled awkwardly. Damn, you guys win. I have things to do today, so I'll let you off for now. I'll settle the score later. I flipped him the middle finger directly to show friendship. Redhead left with gritted teeth. I turned my head to see if Marks was affected by those words, but his expression hadn't changed. He even bought me another bottle of ice-cold Coke. He gently pressed the cold drink against my face, which was red from anger. Carlos, don't be angry. I'm not angry. They weren't cursing me. Then why are you angry if they were cursing me? I looked up and glared at him, but I couldn't bear to really glare at him. I just reached out heart-achingly and scratched under his chin. Don't listen to those people spouting nonsense. Marks, you did nothing wrong. You are very lucky. I got into a top university because you brought me good luck. A few days ago, you even helped me win a few $100 on a scratch card. Anyway, you are just very good. Marks looked down at me, unblinking. I urged him. Did you hear me? I heard you, he answered. After speaking, he suddenly lowered his head and rubbed his high nose against mine. Carlos, you are the best. My eyelashes trembled, but I didn't push him away. I couldn't say when this inexplicable intimacy between Marks and me started. I remember during puberty, when Alex and the others just started having crushes on the opposite sex and playing childish games. Marks and I were already inseparable. When he was sad missing his mother, I would lean into his arms, be his comforter, and share a bed with him many times. Holding hands, nuzzling faces, hugging, and all kinds of physical contact. We were used to it. We spent our puberty accompanying each other. Even in university, we were this intimate, and we didn't feel anything was wrong. Good brothers, good childhood friends. Plus, our fathers were good friends and neighbors for years. It was normal for me to be close to him. So most of the time, I went along with him, not wanting him, who had lost his mother, to be unhappy again. Only, when the street vendor looked over with confusion, I hurriedly took a few steps back. Cough, it's too hot to be this close. Let's go quickly, or Alex will laugh at us for being late again. Marks responded, his gaze sweeping over the tips of my ears, which had turned red at some point. His Adam's apple bobbed slightly. Chapter 3. By the time we met up with Alex and the others, it was already afternoon. Our group went straight to a barbecue stall. When guys get together, besides bragging and joking with each other, drinking a little is inevitable. However, Marks never drank. And he didn't let me drink either. After all, the incident where I almost stripped in the street after having just one glass before was indeed a bit scary. But right now I was a bit annoyed, so I told Alex directly to pour me a glass. Alex was surprised. Yo, Carlos, what's up today? Nothing. Just feel like drinking a little. In a bad mood, huh? Don't worry. After we eat, I'll take you guys to my place and show you some good stuff. I retorted grumpily. You're not trying to show us that kind of movie again, are you? Alex chuckled. Yeah, I looked for it specially. It's really exciting. Good stuff like this should naturally be shared with good brothers. The other guys all expressed their agreement. Alex asked me, Carlos, are you going? I couldn't be bothered with this wretched guy, so I picked up my glass, ready to down it in one gulp. In the next second, however, a hand gently pressed down on the glass. That hand was broad and powerful, with distinct fingers and clear veins on the back. Carlos, you'll feel terrible for days if you drink. How about some soda instead? I kept my head down, not looking at Marks. I didn't answer, nor did I respond. I just stared at the yellow surface of the liquor in the glass, zoned out for a few seconds, then smiled and said to Alex, Sure, I'll go. I haven't watched it with you guys before. Alex took a bite of a lamb skewer, his smile becoming even more lecherous. Beside me, Marks paused, then withdrew his hand from the rim of my glass. It felt like he was distancing himself from me. I pursed my lips, turned my head, and asked, Marks, do you want to come along? The corners of his mouth turned down slightly. I knew this was a sign he was in a bad mood. Sure enough, his voice was cold and heavy. I'm not going, and you're not allowed to go either. Don't be like that. I put down the glass, leaned close to him, and begged in a low voice. Marks, I really want to watch this kind of stuff with you. It'll be interesting. Please, let's go together. I haven't seen it before. To be honest, I didn't actually want to watch any adult movies. It's just that I didn't know since when, but whenever I had intimate contact with Marks, a strange sense of shyness would arise in my heart. Like when we were in the small alley. When he rubbed his nose against mine, my heart seemed to skip a beat, and my whole body heated up. My face was hot. My ears were hot too. But the thought of him suddenly saying today that he had a crush made my heart instantly feel cold and panicked. I assumed it was just possessiveness between brothers acting up. These two emotions intertwined, making me inexplicably irritable. Really strange. So I had to find something stimulating to distract myself. Marks was silent for a while, but finally relented. Fine, I'll go with you. After finishing the barbecue, our group went to Alex's house. Alex drew the curtains, turned off the lights, and turned on the air conditioner. The living room instantly became cool and dim. Marks and I sat on the outer edge. The sofa was a bit hard, so I naturally leaned against Marks. He had a refreshing scent on him. Even in the July and August weather, there was almost no smell of sweat on him. Looking at Alex and the others who had started drinking again, I turned my head with a straight face. Marks, with this atmosphere, we have to drink. If you don't let me drink, we're cutting ties. Only half a small glass. Marks agreed helplessly. So I immediately snatched half a small glass of beer from Alex's hand and sipped it little by little. Ah, so refreshing. Is it that good? Taste it. The alcohol content isn't high, and it's a bit sweet. Marks lowered his head. I thought he was going to drink, so I thoughtfully raised the glass a little higher. But he bypassed the glass, his handsome face suddenly magnifying in front of me. In the moment I froze, his nose twitched, and he sniffed near my lips. It does smell a bit sweet. All right, watch the movie. It's starting. He straightened up and started watching the movie. I clutched the glass, dazed for a few seconds before turning my head. Except the heat on the tips of my ears and face was obviously abnormal. Fuck. Alex said his air conditioner was a $20,000 import. He was definitely bragging. Because it wasn't cool at all. Alex's movie was indeed not bad. When the male and female leads kissed, the guys yelled excitedly. The sound was amplified, giving it a special feeling. But I didn't have much of a reaction. My attention was entirely on Mark's breath hitting the side of my face. Ambiguous and moist. Just now when he smelled the alcohol on me, a bit of his breath accidentally entered my mouth. Carlos, what's wrong? Mark suddenly asked in a low voice. I shook my head, pulled away a little, and said dryly, Nothing, just a bit hot. Alex's air conditioner must be fake. The cooling effect is terrible. Marks let out a soft, muffled laugh. He raised his hand and touched my face. His fingertips were cool. Yet I felt even hotter, the surrounding air seeming to become sultry, a layer of fine sweat seeping out on my back. When the entire movie finished playing, I couldn't remember a single thing that happened in it. My brain was full of thoughts about what brand of toothpaste Marks used. It smelled really good. Wait, I'm a guy. Is it normal to care so much about the smell of my brother's mouth? Chapter 4. We didn't end up watching the movie again with Alex and the others. Marks and I got ready to go home. I was busy trying to cool down, not daring to look at him. He didn't speak, but his gaze occasionally landed on my backside. When we arrived at my door, I took out my keys to open it, Mark standing behind me. The door opened, but I didn't go in. I turned back irritably, wanting to say something but stopping. Marks, should we? His voice was a bit dry and hoarse, probably from not speaking the whole way. I pursed my lips, changing the words on the tip of my tongue. Do you want to watch that movie again? Alex and the others were too noisy just now. I didn't get a good look. Plus, my parents aren't home tonight. Mark's eyes darkened. He pushed my shoulder, shoving me straight through the door. Okay. Sitting on the bed, I began to suspect there was something wrong with my brain. Why would I invite Marks to watch that kind of movie? But we were brothers. Watching a movie together was no big deal. I feigned calm, even stealing 2 bottles of my dad's beer from the fridge. You still want a drink? Yeah, don't worry, this is my house. Even if I get drunk, I'll just sleep in my room. I won't run out naked and embarrass you, I said confidently. Only then did Marks not object. He asked Alex for the file, and we leaned side by side against the headboard to watch. It was the same movie. Without the noise of others, the atmosphere suddenly became subtle. Not because of the movie, but because Mark's presence, scent, and breathing all became exceptionally distinct. I could only desperately drink to suppress that strange feeling. As a result, I drank too much, my head spinning, and I didn't even know when I ended up resting my head on Mark's thigh. Marks, it's noisy. Turn off that crappy movie. Not watching anymore? The boy lowered his head, gently playing with my hair with his hand. This feeling was too comfortable, so I narrowed my eyes. Drunkenly, I answered, don't want to watch anymore. It's boring. Marks looked down and asked, Carlos, then what do you think is interesting to do right now? Irritated, I bumped my head against his abdomen. Stop pretending. I know you're reacting too. What? You weren't like this before. Why are you so cold now? Then should I help you? Marks put his hand on my stomach, pressing down gently. I let out a drunken hiccup and stubbornly said, No, I didn't mean that. Don't overthink it. Marks let out an oh. So you don't need help? Hey! I glared at him with blurry, drunken eyes. Seeing I was really getting annoyed, Mark stopped teasing me. Helping you, only helping you. Then, he lifted my short-sleeved shirt. But that night, things spiraled a bit out of control. Maybe it was the alcohol, maybe the stimulation from the movie, my mind wasn't clear. When Marks got up to go to the bathroom to wash his hands, I suddenly grabbed the hem of his shirt and asked a strange question with blurry eyes. Marks, will we still be this good in the future? What? He didn't hear clearly and bent back down. I mean, if you get a girlfriend and chase the person you like, will you still be like this with me? Mark's expression turned strange, seemingly happy, yet also excited. But he didn't show too much, just that his gaze was a bit scary. Carlos, what do you mean by that? Is it possessiveness between brothers? I stared at him, my emotions a bit agitated. Will you abandon your brother for a girlfriend? Or to avoid your girlfriend misunderstanding, will you not be this close to me in the future? If you dare, we're cutting ties right now. Marks used his thumb to wipe the redness at the corner of my eye, his voice very soft, coaxing. Kiss me, and I'll tell you. Kiss you? That's something your girlfriend should do, right? But we've hugged, slept together, and we're so intimate just now. A kiss isn't a big deal. Haven't you kissed your uncle and auntie on the cheek too? I tried to sober up and regain my reason. But Mark started rubbing my hair again, and I got confused from the comfort. True, I often kissed my parents on the cheek when excited. Marks was my good brother for many years, just like family. Kissing him once seemed normal too, so I propped up my upper body and leaned over, wanting to kiss his cheek. Somehow, Marks turned his head just right, and my mouth pressed against the corner of his lips. Smelled kinda nice. Dizzy, I rubbed against it. What was this feeling again? The next second, before I could react, my lips were bitten hard, and a large hand slammed me into the soft mattress. After that, I seemed to struggle for a bit, and then I only had the strength left to curse. Waking up the next day, I lay in the bedroom staring blankly at the ceiling. Unbelievable. Why did the chandelier my mom installed back then have such a large reflective mirror? It illuminated my messy bed and my look of despair perfectly clearly. I really wanted to gouge out my eyes and flee this place overnight. Just as I was contemplating the possibility of running away, the door was suddenly pushed open. It was Marks. He was only wearing pants. Gray sweatpants, specifically. I didn't need to look closely to know he wasn't wearing underwear underneath. Simply scandalous, unsightly. Seeing me lying there expressionless, Marks walked over with a glass of water. Awake! I sneered, my voice hoarse like a broken gong, asking sarcastically, what, shouldn't I be awake? You should be. Drink some water first. Saying that, he tried to help me up. I slapped his hand away, wanting to sit up on my own strength. But as soon as I engaged my glutes, I almost sprang up. Unfortunately, my legs wouldn't listen, and I fell back down. After repeating this a few times, Marks placed a pillow under my butt, and only then did I barely sit steady. My dignity as a man was completely gone. My face turned red then green. I was furious but had no strength to vent. Gritting my teeth, I drank half a glass of water, wanting Marks to get the hell out of my house. Get out. Call a cab and get out. He didn't leave. Instead, he squatted in front of me like a big dog. Carlos, you got drunk last night and slept with me. You have to take responsibility. Is that human language? Who slept with whom? You slept with me. I gritted my teeth. What kind of bullshit logic is that? But this method was taught by you. You can't go back on your word. You mother, wait. Trembling with anger, I suddenly realized something, my eyelid twitching violently. Marks, that person you said you shouldn't have fallen for? Is it me? It's you. Carlos, I like you. Temptation, seduction, taking advantage, then pretending to want responsibility. It was all my terrible advice. Now it was being used against me by this brother of mine who had turned gay. He confessed. A few days ago, I finally confirmed that I like you, so I was scared. I didn't know how to face you and dared not speak to you. I was afraid you'd be angry, afraid you'd ignore me. I could only secretly plan how to pursue you. So while I was worried he was sad missing his mom, he was thinking about how to trap me, how to take advantage of me. I'm a guy. I am a guy. I held back. I really couldn't hold back. I clenched my fist and smashed it directly into his face, annoyed and angry. You really are a fucking dog. Chapter 5. I kicked Marks out of my house immediately and threatened to cut ties. It was either him or me. After that, I turned down all invitations and lay at home all day. The agony of not being able to use the toilet. Only I knew the depths of that pain. My parents came back from their business trip, saw my poor complexion, and asked with concern, "Why are you suddenly constipated?" I kept a straight face and said, "It's the heat. Anyway, it's all Mark's fault. I'm gonna stop being friends with him." Oh? What did you do wrong to make him angry this time? I felt indignant. Can't it be him doing something wrong to make me angry? Like he. I didn't know how to say it, so I deflated. Forget it, never mind. Don't ask. My mom didn't pry further. She just looked at me thoughtfully, then exchanged a glance with my dad, who was watching TV nearby. Afraid they would spot something wrong, I hurried back to my room. But I had to vent this suffocation in my heart to someone. So I took out my phone. Ignoring Mark's messages, I opened the chat interface of my agony aunt/brother, Alex. Bro, I have a friend who got confessed to by a guy. Later, they drank too much and hooked up. What should he do in this situation? Alex. What? Alex called me immediately via voice chat. I was incredibly moved. This is a true brother, so proactive in helping me solve my problems. I answered the phone with relief. A barrage of words came from the other side. My Carlos. Which wild man kissed you and rolled in the sheets with you? I told you, with your fair skin and tender flesh, you should wear iron underpants when you go out to prevent being targeted by gays. Why wouldn't you listen? I kept a straight face and denied it. I said it's a friend. Do you understand the word friend? Alex chuckled mischievously. Doesn't friend usually mean yourself? I gritted my teeth. I swear on Mark's character and ability, it is absolutely not me. Oh, then it really isn't you. After all, Mark's hardware is recognized as #1 even by the bathhouse scrubbers. Fuck. So what should my friend do? Just deal with it. What's the big deal? I said in distress. You say it so lightly. If my friend rejects him, they definitely can't be brothers anymore. But if he accepts, wouldn't that make him gay? Two guys being together every day for the rest of their lives? Alex laughed like a duck. Quack, quack, quack. Ha 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 ha. Don't overthink it. It mainly depends on whether your friend likes him or not. If he doesn't like him, just say he's straight, reject him directly, and cut off all contact till death. That's better for everyone. If he likes him, then just accept it openly. So what if it's gay? It's not that rare nowadays. I sighed irritably. Can't they just go back to being friends? Could you accept a good brother who stares at your ass all day? I fell silent. Indeed, I couldn't. Just thinking about it felt awkward, uncomfortable. Alex continued. Real romantic liking makes it impossible to just be friends. But the main thing right now is, does your friend like that person? I rubbed my face, and after a long while, I said in a muffled voice, I don't know. He doesn't know if he likes him either. He just doesn't want to lose that brother. Really doesn't. Just as I was muddling through my days avoiding Marks, the anniversary of his mother's death arrived. In previous years, on this day, I would proactively accompany him to the cemetery. Then I would stay by his side, trying to make him happy, helping him deal with those annoying relatives, just to make him feel a little better. But with our relationship as it was now, I didn't know how to be around him. I could only message him saying I had something to do and couldn't make it. But not long after, there was a knock on the door. I opened it to see Marks. He looked down at me, eyes lowered. Carlos, you said you would always be there for me. I tried to be righteous, but my momentum was lacking. You have the nerve to say that? My lower back still hurts. It might be a slipped disc, so I need to go to the hospital. Okay, I understand. Marks didn't force it. He turned around, ready to leave. But I caught that trace of disappointment that inadvertently slipped through his brows and eyes, and my heart softened instantly. I couldn't bring myself to be cruel at all. I gritted my teeth. Marks, wait. Let me grab a jacket, and I'll go with you. He stopped, turned his head. Maybe he was afraid I'd get angry, or maybe he was waiting for me to take the bait. Either way, he didn't rush closer. He just stood a few steps down the stairs looking at me. Who was the one who pinched red marks on my waist that haven't faded for days? What is this big bad wolf doing pretending to be a good puppy? Fine. I pointed a finger at him from a distance, feeling both angry and annoyed. Marks, you're just counting on my soft heart. Because you are good. Marks answered like that. There was affection in his eyes. The nameless anger and conflict I had been holding back for days vanished in an instant. Damn, that dog Marks. He gets so smooth with words after getting what he wants. Chapter 6. We traveled to the cemetery by car. Uncle Anthony chatted occasionally with the driver in the front seat. Marks and I sat side by side in the back, silent the whole way. Not long into the ride, I kept a straight face, took out my phone, and typed angrily. Can you stop looking at me all the time? What's wrong? What do you mean what's wrong? Do you want everyone to know we slept together? Why not? I turned my head to look at him in shock. Marks looked back at me calmly. If you're unhappy about it, you can tell people you slept with me. I don't mind. He actually has the nerve to say whether he minds or not. Truly shameless. While I cursed him in my heart, the corners of my mouth couldn't help but tick upward slightly. My typing became much lighter and faster. Get lost. Aren't you afraid Uncle Anthony will break your legs? If he breaks my legs, will you agree to let me pursue you? You're actually crazy. Do you know what this means? I know. So, can I pursue you? If you feel uncomfortable, I'll stop and we'll still be friends. Get lost. Carlos, I like you. The driver tapped the brakes gently, and inertia threw me forward a bit. I settled back into the seat. In that moment, my brain was unusually clear. If my parents and your dad team up to beat you, you better hide far away by yourself. I won't help you. In my 20 years of life, Mark's status was about the same as my parents. I didn't want to cut ties with him. I didn't want to lose him. It's just dating, isn't it? If we try, we try. Besides, he said if it's uncomfortable, we can go back to being friends. There was no need to make things too rigid. The next second, my left hand, which was resting on the seat, was taken. Under the cover of his jacket, he ambiguously kneaded my fingers, one by one, gently rubbing them. It didn't feel like brotherhood at all. It was just ambiguity and flirtation. I let him do what he wanted, pretending to look out the window calmly, but in reality, my heart was racing. The strange feeling was becoming more and more obvious. Maybe this is what liking someone feels like. Because Mark's father and other relatives were also at the grave sweeping, the two of us behaved ourselves and didn't dare make much contact. Just like in previous years, I helped him wipe the tombstone and clear the weeds. Then we sat quietly for a while. Back in the car, Marks buried his face directly into my neck without saying a word. When the driver got in, he glanced at Marks in the rearview mirror but didn't think much of it. His eyes held an indescribable sympathy. I leaned my body forward slightly, blocking that line of sight. Marks isn't pitiful. He is excellent. He has a good father, good friends, and my parents treat him like their own son. And now he has me. I will be with him. Always. We returned home in a somber atmosphere, and Marks remained in low spirits for several days. As usual, I went upstairs to hang out with him and cheer him up. My parents didn't say much, only reminding me to be good and to humor Marks more. I curled my lip, sneering internally. I'm humoring him enough already. On the surface, I'm playing games with him to distract him. Behind the scenes, we're kissing and hugging. If Uncle Anthony hadn't been home these past few days, Marks probably would have gone even further. It's not like I didn't resist. But as soon as his eyelashes drooped and he showed that aggrieved, puppy dog look, I couldn't harden my heart and would obediently let him kiss me. It got to the point where my tongue hurt whenever I drank water. Damn it. This dating thing really has no bottom line. But it feels awesome. When I was going upstairs, I ran into Uncle Anthony, who was just about to head out. He looked at me gratefully. If it weren't for you keeping Mark's company, I really wouldn't know what to do. I smiled. Don't worry. I'll definitely coax him into a better mood. Uncle Anthony patted my shoulder. Suddenly, he saw the red mark on my neck. Carlos, on your neck. Cough. I explained somewhat unnaturally. Mosquito bite. Since coming back for summer break, there have been a lot of mosquitoes. Is that so? Do mosquitoes leave teeth marks? I fell silent, desperately trying to find an excuse. Uncle Anthony waited silently for me to finish spinning my yarn. Our eyes met. Finally, he broke the silence and lifted his foot to leave. I breathed a sigh of relief and was just about to walk him downstairs when the elder waved his hand. His expression was strange. No need. I'm not in a rush to get to the office anymore. I need to go to your house first. Are your parents home? Yeah, they haven't left yet. All right, the three of us have things to discuss. You and Marks go play. Uncle Anthony sighed, looked at me one last time, and went downstairs. I scratched my head in confusion. I wasn't discovered, was I? Otherwise, Uncle Anthony would have lost his temper ages ago. Chapter 7. I told Marks about this and his gaze shifted slightly. Don't overthink it. My dad doesn't understand these things. But I still feel something is wrong. It's fine. If there's really a beating coming, just hide behind me. As he spoke, he pulled me by the collar and kissed me. He didn't give me any time to overthink. Squinting my eyes as he gently played with my hair, I thought to myself, dating feels fucking amazing. I regretted not getting together with Marks back when we started university. Think of all the good times we missed out on. I lay lazily on his lap and asked, Marks, why do you like me? I forgot. Maybe I've liked you for a long time, and by the time I realized it, I couldn't change it. I was really sad that day when I saw a girl hitting on you. I don't want you to be with other girls. That day referred to the day before his sudden bad mood. We had gone out to play basketball. A girl asked for my contact info, and I gave it to her out of politeness. I turned around only to find Marks looking terrible. When I asked him what was wrong, he wouldn't say. He left with a cold face before we even finished the game. Then he was depressed for nearly a week. Alex and the others thought I had made him angry, and I thought so too. I didn't expect he was actually jealous. Ha 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 ha, your reaction to being jealous was way too big. Are you still jealous? I can reluctantly coax you a bit. Ah ha ha ha. Be good. Don't be angry. Maybe I was laughing too exaggeratedly. Marks, a bit embarrassed, raised his hand to cover my eyes, not letting me look at him. Carlos, stop talking. He lowered his head and kissed my lips again. Unable to see, I could only instinctively lean into his embrace. I didn't notice that the shyness on Mark's face had vanished, replaced by an intense possessiveness, terrifyingly paranoid. After Marks completely emerged from his sadness, we started going out to have fun every day. We went home on time at night, but for a couple in the honeymoon phase, even living upstairs and downstairs from each other made separating difficult. The corner of the stairwell became our spot for making out when we parted ways. Marks was the one who discovered this good spot. I thought we were hiding it well. We planned to date properly after the summer break when we returned to school. Until the end of the break, when our two families had a meal together. At the table, I deliberately pretended to be just good bros with Marks, without a hint of ambiguity. It wasn't that I hadn't thought about confessing to our parents. I was mainly afraid it would be an ugly scene, thinking we should hide it for as long as possible. Marks didn't say much at the time. He just stroked my hair with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Later at the dinner table, the three elders often brought up stories from our childhood. The atmosphere was quite harmonious, except that my dad, who had always liked Marks, was a bit cold toward him. I secretly asked, "Did you offend my dad?" "No." "Then why does he look like he has a problem with you?" "Maybe you'll find out soon." I didn't understand. A few days later, a thief broke into my house. My dad called the police immediately. The police said the thief might have scouted the place beforehand. Fortunately, there was a surveillance camera at the door, and the police planned to check the footage from the past few days. My heart suddenly tightened as I thought of something. I immediately covered the monitor to stop them from looking, but my mom told me not to cause trouble. Then, right in front of all the parents and the police, the image of Marks and me kissing in the stairwell was played for everyone to see. Damn it, even the part where my legs went weak from the kiss was there. I waited to be scolded, feeling like my life was over. Marks raised an eyebrow. The police officers were dumbfounded. Only the three elders were very calm, as if they had known all along. Sorry you had to see that. The kids are a bit immersed in their relationship. Later, I carefully asked my mom, "Mom, aren't you guys angry? What's there to be angry about? We had a hunch about you two a long time ago. We just find it a bit embarrassing." Then "Can't you be a bit more impressive next time and make Mark's legs go weak from your kissing? You have to win back some face. Don't you? Huh?" I was stunned. Then I reacted, too happy to speak. I kissed my mom and dad hard on their cheeks. "Just you wait. I'm going on a date with Marks right now, and I'll bring you back good news." But that night, while calling me hubby, Marks asked, "Hubby, are you going home tonight?" I kicked him with a dazed look in my eyes. "Not going back. I'm afraid my parents will say I'm embarrassing." If you enjoyed this story, remember to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.